think...
Good afternoon, everyone. We're in the split view
Studio.
recording state of mind.
Also known as my mum's sewing room.
Yes. I mean, if you guys have seen FlickView, you know it
If you've
is...
seen my Twitter.
Every house has one of these rooms, right?
Every house used to have a computer room, and now that's just a dead concept.
Isn't it? That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
They used to have a room dedicated to something, and they would never use it, is the thing.
My computer room got used a lot, mostly because I was like a nerdy computer kid, but...
I don't think ours did very often. I know, like, grandmas have a computer room. Do you know what I mean?
My grandma has an Xbox room, that's not even a lie.
Oh, well, there you go. She likes to pwn noobs, you know?
Probably, yeah.
Does she have the Xbox original?
And my other grandma, yeah, she has the OG one, and my other she has a 360 as well. My other grandma torrent stuff and all that, so...
Oh,
got
don't dox her,
grandmas.
dude!
I didn't say she was torrenting things illegally. I torrent all the time, but I download ISOs.
Sure.
BitTorrent is just genuinely a good file transfer protocol.
Yeah, to download pornography, maybe.
It happens to, yeah.
Yeah, we're back in the studio. It's week 33
Yep.
of our podcast here.
Jordy
And
knows how numbers works.
I do know how numbers work. And you know what I don't know how it works?
What?
Is the fact that it's been
SSH
33
file
fucking
protocol.
weeks.
Yeah.
Because that is a whack to me still. I say this literally every week, so I'm going to shut up.
Okay.
Jordy is weak, and it's also my week.
Yeah.
Now, I really wasn't trying to pick a subject that was a little bit down,
Hey,
but
Jordy.
I couldn't not talk about this.
Hey, Jordy.
Yes.
PS5.
PS5.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with PS5, and then I'll go into it, and I also have something afterwards.
It's not like we agreed upon this,
it's
at the beginning.
kind of
before we
like
started recording.
like a nice sandwich, you know?
Okay.
It's the thick meat in the middle is what I'll talk about, and then I've got some breading on the outside. I've never said that in my
Yeah.
life. I've never said breading in my life.
I think you have.
Am I?
think that's kind of a lie.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so the PS5, it was not released, but they showcased
Revealed.
what it looks like.
That's the other R word you're looking
Yes,
for.
that was what I was
revealed.
looking for. And it looks like a router, looks like a modem, looks like a toaster. It looks like...
Yeah, but the Xbox One wait, what the fuck is it? An Xbox Series X
looks like a mini fridge.
That looks like a toucan fridge, but actually I have some talking points. I really love the design of like Microsoft Studios after the VCR, like the Xbox VCR.
What the fuck is the Xbox VCR?
The original Xbox One.
Oh, right.
Also, they are fucking terrible at naming things.
Yeah, they really are.
Like, they are the worst in the entire
fact that
world at
we
naming
couldn't-
things.
Both of us couldn't think of the name of an upcoming, like, the only... Okay, there's 3 consoles. The Switch, the Switch, Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony.
And also,
Microsoft
Xbox
and
One.
Sony.
Xbox One could refer to the original.
Exactly.
And the original could refer to the first Xbox One, because the Xbox One S was essentially like a redo.
Exactly.
And then Series X? What the fuck does that mean? What is Series... Is it multiple consoles?
I don't
Is it still the
fucking
same
know.
generation?
Actually, yes. I've heard that
Okay.
that you triggered something in my brain just there. I was about to say it's really fucking bad marketing if there's 3 companies that make consoles and I can't tell you what it is and it's coming up.
Here's the problem with
the
Series
Series
X
X.
being multiple consoles. So game developers have to target the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
If they make something, it has to run on every generation. Like, if
Yeah.
I make something for Xbox One, it has to run on the original Xbox One. It doesn't matter that Xbox One X and One S have more power, it has to run on Xbox
yeah.
One. So if Series X is multiple consoles, developers are going to target the first one out, and then even if you release another one with, like, massively improved ray tracing, it's targeting the original one. So you're not going to,
Exactly,
like... It makes no sense to me. That's why it's always better to have one SKU, like one PS5, because you can optimize the hell out of one thing. If you know you're only having one environment to work with, you can optimize the fuck out of it.
Yeah. I definitely did hear that the Series X is like different tiers. Like, it sort of reminds me of like...
Incredibly bad idea.
The Corsair One, You know that tower where it's like different levels? It's going to be exactly like that.
That was a NUC though. Like that's a bare bones thing. Like you can buy it and pre-configured, or you can
that's
replace
a computer, which means you can do more shit with it, and you're not limited to only playing games.
I was thinking of either getting a Corsair One, a ThinkPad Mini or something to go in the streaming room. I mean the
only reason that I have the computer I have now and not a Corsair One is because they're really expensive to
they're
get
pretty
here.
expensive.
I think they're a little bit more because you need to ship them for like $200 or something. It's probably even more now with COVID, but it was that's the only reason, is because of the shipping or something for it. Otherwise I would have one, because I think they're so cool that there's like you can bring them anywhere and they're so fucking like small and shit. It's good.
ThinkPad have a tiny computer, or Lenovo have a tiny computer called like the Think Center. I clicked on a single ad for it, and for literally months on Reddit, on Google, I've been there's just an image of it, literally the exact same image. I'll show Jordy what it is.
So you gotta love them. Isn't that cookies and shit that does that?
Google Ad ID kind of things. I would show it in Reddit, but I don't want to spend a couple minutes trying to find an ad in Reddit.
That's so good.
It's this thing. Look how tiny the USB-C port is. Like, it's a tiny little... I just typed in Think Center, and it's like a tiny computer. I want to get it because it has like a dedicated-ish GPU for like streaming and all that. But speaking of USB ports, people didn't realize how big the PS5 was. People thought it was like a tiny machine, whereas...
No, it's big.
We know what a USB port looks like. We're very familiar with USB ports. So the second I saw it, I instantly knew how big it was, because I was like, oh, there's USB-C and USB.
Yeah.
People thinking it's like the same size as the Series X.
That was one thing that I realized when I saw it as well. I'm like, first of all, there's multiple things people aren't going to like about this.
Yeah.
Okay, there's the first one,
Yeah? Let me tell you how much Xbox have fucked up. Xbox have had nothing but ridicule about their console reveal, whereas PlayStation or Sony
had Rule 34.
Well, yeah, I've seen those ones, but PlayStation, all they've been ridiculed on is how big the console is. That's not even negative. People aren't even ridiculing the games. That's how you know how much Xbox is fucked up, since like people are just like, oh yeah, there's good games.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, literally, people are picking at straws.
No news is good news in this case.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases when it comes to new products and all that type of shit. But what I think the main points I've heard with it is people are upset that you have to stand it up.
You don't have to.
You can put it on the stand. That's true. Actually, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the stand...
So forget about that, sorry.
The stand is like an oval surface.
I would stand it up, personally. You'd probably get better airflow. And
it's a hyperbolic paraboloid. That's the name of the shape.
Right. Okay, I'll believe you.
Do you know why I know that?
Nope.
Because it's the exact same geometry as a Pringle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
What were you saying?
Yeah, so that was one thing that doesn't matter, because I forgot that you could put on... Do you need to buy the stand for it?
It comes with it.
Okay, cool.
It's the Pringles looking thing at the bottom.
And the other one that I heard that people didn't like was the fact that it didn't have... something, I can't remember what it is now. There was something that was missing that like diehard PS4 people were really looking for. I can't remember what it was.
People are saying it doesn't have PSVR, but
no way will it not have that.
Why would the included camera have two cameras on it?
No,
why would it have two?
Not even a question in my mind. They're definitely going to have that.
Yeah, people are like, oh, there's no PS4 announcement. We don't get to see the back of the console, and I think that's very strategic. They're going to either announce a next-gen PSVR, or like there's a new port design or something. There's something on the back that they don't want to show. But
I reckon it's going to have literally just like... I reckon they might go to display this time. Do you reckon?
What's that?
Do you reckon they'll go to DisplayPort this time?
I think I don't know the exact like specification, but I think it either uses TV LDS, which is basically just DisplayPort, or HDMI. Like, it would be cool if they just moved it to a single USB Type-C port.
Not enough TVs can accept that, though.
No, I mean like for PSVR.
Sorry,
for PSVR.
Yeah.
Because like that. USB Type-C supports like just putting anything over it.
Basically.
Yeah. Literally on the USB Type-C specification, there are a set of 4 pins that you can just do anything with. You can just be like, oh, I want DisplayPort, I want this, as long as you signal it correctly. But I think there has to be DisplayPort, because they're saying they can support 4K at 120 frames.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it literally has to be.
Unless it's that new weird HDMI specification, like 2.1B or something.
Nah, they wouldn't. That's not sustainable enough for them, I don't think.
And what
It'd be much
TV?
easier
What
to
TV
just-
would have that specification?
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be DisplayPort.
What TV is 4K 422 at 120 frames per second? That is
none.
like 50 gigabytes per second bandwidth.
Yeah.
Like,
Either that or they stay in the past because everyone has HDMI on their TV.
yeah.
Because I don't even know if I have DisplayPort in my TV.
No, we
don't.
have the same TV model or
Yeah.
series, and yeah, it's just HDMI 2.0.
Yeah.
B.
You know what? Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. I think one thing people don't like is the price.
There is no price.
There is none, but it's going to be at least $500 US.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
I mean, that means here that's like $700.
I think they do regional pricing. It should be 550 or 600 here.
Okay.
Because they've always done regional pricing. Like because they have the manufacturing like either pre-made in Australia, like they've already shipped the parts in bulk and assembled them, like DeLoreans, or they do something else. Like I don't know. I think the pricing is very strategic. They haven't announced it because they don't want that. Like Sony have been so goddamn tactical with this new launch. Like,
Oh, dude.
They did something great with the PS4, and they're like, we cannot fuck this up.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have to
yeah.
like. I feel like they've hired like war generals to like plan out their like
Yeah.
attack. You know,
Yeah,
but
full scale like
yeah,
release plan.
because I feel like they're trying to give people as less ammunition as possible. Like, I think they were betting on people. They even they say the design of the PS4 is striking in the actual live stream.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
our striking design. They know the PS4 looks weird, and I think they're using that as a distraction to distract you against like the potential flaws. If they announce the price being 500 plus or 600, and it looks weird, that would be like, that's a lot of ammunition, you know.
Well, here's the thing, though. To me, it doesn't like. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the design.
I love the design.
And
I really do.
which is contrary. A lot of people seem to not like it very much.
Well, it's meme. It's meme material.
It is meme
yeah.
material. But here's the thing, right? I think if you have this sitting, I would stand it up, right?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck
Like,
yeah.
I would definitely stand it up, right? A lot of people were complaining that I seen, I guess, like, they just didn't know that you could
Yeah.
put it on the side, and I forgot that you could too. That they were like, oh, I don't want to buy it if I have to stand it up, right? I haven't got room for that, you know.
People
I
are
need to
still
have it.
playing the disc excuse, like, oh, it scratches your disc if they're
Yeah.
vertical. It's like, do you think they're not engineering this shit?
Yeah, exactly. And that's another good point, is that they have the first ever discless console, I believe.
Xbox One S had a discless version.
Oh, well, there you go.
They were the first ones to do it, and people gave them shit. I am going to buy the discless one.
I don't think I will. I think I'm going to go for the other one, just in case.
You don't have a 4K Blu-ray player, though, so
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't.
it makes sense for you.
I'm definitely going to get it, no matter what. I think it looks very nice. I think it's going to run things fucking well. And I really hope that they bring out, and I'm almost certain they will, if they don't have backwards compatibility, they'll release Ghost of Tsushima, because that game looks so fucking
I have
nice.
something to talk about. I've got the list of games, and I want to quickly go through them and talk about them, which ones are excited for, different details.
This was coming out on PS4 in about like 10 days. It's coming out.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, it's not actually coming. Oh, I mean, it probably is coming out on PS5, but
That's bad then.
what?
Okay, no, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Like last big game coming out before then.
So, they've already announced that
probably wrong.
PS4 games have to support forward compatibility, which speaks about the architecture, because the architecture is known. Essentially, the gap between PS4 and PS5 is so close, like architecture-wise, because PS4 and Xbox One are essentially PCs at this point.
Well, yeah.
They literally are like x86 consoles.
Did you see as well that they like that remote? I think that's
the
a
media
fucking
remote,
brilliant idea. That's a fucking
love media remotes.
outstanding
I love
idea.
media remotes.
I will never use my fucking TV remote ever again if that's the case.
I hope it's either passive Bluetooth or IR, but I didn't see an IR receiver, so hopefully it's just like
probably Bluetooth, I'd say.
hopefully they make it the low energy one where it's off until you press a button, it quickly wakes up so the battery doesn't die.
I mean, Sony's smart.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the same thing as like, you know, when it turns on the console with your when you press the PlayStation button.
Yeah.
It'll probably be that. It's like you press it and it connects. Which is what you just said, actually. Now that I've said it out
But
loud. It's more like a PC, sorry, like you were saying.
Yeah, like literally the processors in the PS4 and Xbox One are literally just 64-bit processors. Like they run the x86 architecture, which is what modern PCs run. Like functionally, you could port over code extremely easily. The only thing is the targets, like the actual APIs that they use, are different. But because of that, to actually have a game that runs on PS4 run on PS5, there's almost no work. Almost no work.
I didn't want to say it because I don't know anything about it, but I always assumed it would be easy to do this. Like, people go out of their way to not allow backwards compatibility.
The jump between PS3 and PS4 was big because PS3s were essentially just scientific computers. Like, the processor in the PS3 was designed for scientific work. It was it was PowerPC. It wasn't even x86.
Gotcha.
And I think Xbox 360, it only had like 500 megabytes of RAM.
Jeez.
And it only had 128 at launch. Like, it was also a PowerPC. Like, it's an old-ass Mac processor. Like, it literally can't run x86. So the jump between PS4 and PS5 is functionally identical, like, architecture-wise. It's just that they're adding and removing some APIs, but that's really easy to retarget. Like, I 100% I'm betting that PS5 will support, like, literally 99% of PS4 games on launch.
I feel like if they don't,
that would be such a stupid move.
Terrible move.
Because that would convince people to buy it. Like, that really would.
Absolutely. And this is why I want to keep discs, right? Although theoretically that doesn't matter either, because I've seen if you use the same PSN account, that would work too. I'm just impatient. That's why I usually don't get discs. But if someone buys me something for Christmas or something, then I like to be able to play it.
That's the one thing.
That's the one thing, is that if Mum finds out that I buy a PS5,
Mum found the PS5 drawer,
and she buys me a game, and then I can't play it because I have the discless one or something. It's a very niche problem to have, but
it's just the just in case kind of thing. There's a word for it, but
I have some discs of PS4 that I'd still like to play. You know,
Death Stranding and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder who got you that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but The problem I have with the disc version is that I genuinely think they designed it without discs in mind. Because look at the design. It's like a tumor on the side of it. Like, if I was designing
I don't hate it as much as you do, one.
I don't hate it that much. I like the symmetry of the discless one is what I'm saying.
It is nicer. I agree with you, the other one is nicer. But I think maybe it would look nicer if you lay that one down.
Yeah.
The disc one.
I was thinking, like, if I did get the disc one, I would just rotate it so that the disc portion is away from me. Like, I would have it at a 45 on my little media thing. But,
that's a good idea, yeah.
If I was designing the PS5, and no one would ever give me that job because I cannot do that, but I would have started with the disk drive being in the center portion. Do you know what I mean?
Sense. It's almost like it's meant to be there, right?
There's a gap in there.
Yeah, it almost looks like that's where it should be.
The power buttons and the eject button are at the bottom. There's a big gap, and then the USB, and then the USB Type-C. I think they just, like...
I think, now that you said that out loud, I think you're right. I think they were going to go digitalist, but some guy was like, nah, we kind of need to do it or something.
Because it makes too much sense, because I think they designed the diskless one version hoping to have a disc in it, and then realized, we can't fit this in because, like, our parent Sony company can't provide us a slim enough disk drive.
Just slap it on the side.
And if you think about it, the jump between a diskless and a disc one is a single part of plastic.
Yeah.
You don't have to retool the entire thing. You have to retool a single piece. Because the side piece is it probably just clips on.
Yeah.
So that's the easiest way to add a disc drive. Like, I think the concept art actually did have a disc drive in the center portion.
Yeah, it would make sense. Yeah. Honestly, it would.
It just looks like a tumor on the side. It really does.
It's not great. They definitely could have done better, but I think the times being what they are right now, I'm sure they were actually scared to announce it at all.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Considering
they delayed it a couple of days.
And the fact that they did it and it didn't kind of get too much backlash.
It got no backlash.
Like, well, I'm sure there were some people who were upset about the timing of it, if anything.
Here's the thing. The only thing that people are upset about is, the timing, but they made a tweet saying, like, they delayed it and they talked about, I think they made a donation or something as well, but the only other thing people are complaining about is the design, and that's just meme material. Like, it's been blown out of proportion.
I saw someone make a render of the colors being inverted.
Yeah, I saw that
and
on
that
Reddit.
looks really nice.
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, how the fuck did people make a model of this already? Like, if someone made a perfect model of it off of, like, 3 pictures.
I mean, people will. Well, there's a will, there's a way. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Rule 34 of that shit already. So
yeah, PS5 chan or whatever.
within like 2 days, that came out.
I was telling Jordy like the day after E621 had like 194 pictures of the Ratchet and Clank like Lombax, and now it's up to like 500.
Jesus.
But let's talk about some of the games.
All right.
So they started out with GTA 5.
Again, yeah.
Why?
They've
it was
suffering
literally
from
an
Skyrim
ad.
syndrome now.
It was like an ad.
Yeah.
Like what?
They're literally suffering from Skyrim syndrome now. They're like, how many times can we release this before people stop buying it?
What was it like? Holiday 2021 or something, or 2022? So it's not even a launch title.
I watched like a quick recap, or I was watching someone who mentioned all the games that came out, so I didn't actually see the trailers for anything.
Spider-Man Miles Morales. I don't like Spider-Man, but it looks dope.
Yeah, I played the Spider-Man. I forget what it was called for PS4, and that's a fun game.
I think they made it because one, they had the assets. It's just set in the same place, and two, it's to show off the SSD.
Yeah,
because think that's the perfect like use case for a streaming SSD. Like, if you think about it in terms of chunks and render distance, the PS5 has the speed to just slot in chunks really quickly. And I feel like they made it just to show off the SSD.
Well, speaking of, what I actually have seen is of Ratchet and Clank, A Rift in Time or whatever.
I'm gonna talk about that. Yeah,
they literally went through about like 8 different worlds and it instantly loaded. Like, it was pretty impressive.
Do you know what's crazy about this entire stream? I have a hard, like, out of all of the game reveal streams I've seen, I'm having a hard time telling whether something is gameplay or not.
Yeah.
That's how, like, that's the level it's getting to.
They really, like, the consoles and stuff, or at least the PS5, is really breaking new ground, I feel like. It may not be componently that much different, but they're doing...
It's just way more
wonders
powerful
with it, you know.
It's like if you added like an RTX card to a PS4. That's essentially what it is.
I feel like they're finally at a point where they can do what they want to do.
Where they're on par with PCs, like neck and neck.
Exactly. I think you're exactly right there.
Like PS5 is essentially like a medium to high tier PC at this point, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah, absolutely.
The lowest common denominator has shifted so high now. Like, I love that.
It's brilliant.
But Gran Turismo 7, meh, I don't like car games. It doesn't even look that great. Like, it looks like Gran Turismo 6.
I think I saw a few seconds of it. Those games look hyper real.
Yeah.
And that's only because they're not really rendering anything. It's just kind of
there's
like
pre-compiled assets.
Circle.
There's shader caching.
You drive around, so... I'm talking a little shit there. Yeah. There's like environmental weather effects and all that type of shit. There's ray tracing and all that stuff.
The rain tracing and shadows on the dash was genuinely impressive.
They do look nice, but I think that's mostly what they're for. They're kind of like graphics showcases to me.
Although this one was either didn't have a date or it was 2021, which is kind of weird.
I'm willing to bet a lot of them don't have release dates anymore. Considering what's happening right now.
There were a couple of launch titles. Like there were most of the ones that said holiday 2020. That's when it launches at launch titles. But Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
That's probably my reason for getting the PS5 to begin with. I love Ratchet and Clank, dude. As a kid, I played the fuck out of Ratchet and Clank to the point where those discs were fucking annihilated.
Oh, same here, dude.
Annihilated.
I couldn't play Ratchet and Clank 3 anymore since it was scratched up. And
dude.
I completed Ratchet and Clank 2 like literally 50 times during school.
God. Like, at least, dude. At least.
I was watching this. I was going to watch it live, but it was at 6 a.m. in Australia. I woke up at 10 a.m. and started watching it, and literally I was like a fucking YouTube thumbnail. I was like, what? When I saw Ratchet. I was so... At first, I was suspicious since, Insomniac, the last PS4 Ratchet and Clank was kind of assy.
It was average as fuck.
This one looks genuinely good.
Yeah.
Project Athia, don't care about that, whatever. Yeah. Stray, I'm excited for Stray.
Oh, that's the cat game, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. And do you know what I noticed as well? I think that's real-time rendering. I don't think that was a cinematic trailer.
Really?
Yeah, I could see aliasing on the edges of the fur. I could see kind of stuttery movement. I think that was genuinely in-game.
Jeez.
Because it's an indie developer as well, is it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Do you know what I would totally do?
What?
I would totally have it all be gameplay for this, right?
They said footage captured from PS5 at before.
But here's the thing, right? Then I would announce, if I was PS5, this is what I would do, right? I would have all these titles so it looks like cinematics, and then the next time just say, oh, by the way, all those videos we shown you, it's all in game.
Yeah, those weren't cinematics, those were rendered on console.
Yeah, mic drop.
I saw a kind of a ridiculous story. Someone was saying because it said all footage was captured on consoles, those presenters were actually CGI doubles.
What?
People are. You know how you didn't watch the film.
No, I didn't.
It'll after every so often, like there'll be the developers in their fucking like shitty apartment with a shitty webcam saying we're so excited for this.
Yeah.
People are like theorizing that those are actually rendered on PS5.
Fucking that would be hilarious.
They're too shitty. And
now that's a good twist.
They didn't. I would say something like you said. I would be like, oh, all those presenters were CGI.
Yeah.
But what's the next one? Oh yeah, Stray. So I'm really excited for Stray. I reckon it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool idea for sure.
It's on PC as well. There's already a Steam page for it that actually describes the gameplay.
Oh wow.
You play as the cat. You're trying to escape the city, and you befriend like a little robot or something.
Huh.
And it's like a world where humans don't exist.
Sounds cute.
Returnal, that one spaceship one with the like heterochroma whatever eyes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was liking it until it turned out it was just like a shooting game.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Shooting stuff in
Boring
a space
next.
costume. Sackboy. Wow,
Sackboy.
that was weird. You know, Sackboy, Little Big Planet.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, I was that blew me away. I didn't think they were going to bring back Sackboy, but
Yeah, well.
I guess it makes sense. It's like Mario Maker Dreams
Yeah.
is very popular now.
Absolutely.
So
there's a market.
although people are speculating that it's just like a Super Mario Odyssey kind of thing, like you can't create levels, which wouldn't make any sense since
No.
Little Big Planet was
That's
all
the
about
whole
making
point.
levels.
Yeah, there's no way you won't be able to make planets.
Ken Bridge of Spirits.
Is that the sort of Breath of the Wild looking
The
game?
one with the little minion knockoffs, little black soot creatures, little puffle things.
I think that was the one. I'm actually really excited for that game if it's the one I'm thinking of.
I didn't like it too much. I think
If it's
they were
the one that looks like Breath of the Wild,
it kind of does.
That
yeah.
one, I'm keen for that. That looks pretty dope to me.
I think they were aping off too much like cutesy aesthetics and stuff, and like
Yeah.
obvious minion fucking replacements and like DreamWorks faces and shit. But it's probably good. But I don't know. Goodbye Volcano High. I'm really fucking excited for that.
I don't remember anything about
That's
that.
the
I
one
might
that
not have
was
seen
like
it.
2D animated and had like the dragon people in high school.
Don't really remember.
Really? What the fuck?
I might not have seen it at all. You know, like I've not actually seen that much about the games.
I don't know what the gameplay is going to be because it just looks like a Netflix animated show, but I'm all about that, you know. Oddworld Soulstorm. I'm really excited for that. I love Oddworld.
That looked cool.
As soon as I saw Mark Lanning, I think is his name, I was like, oh fuck, because I've read about him a whole bunch, and I was like, wow. Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah.
The trailer.
Cool, very cool fucking trailer.
What was the trailer?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. It's just like, it's like hype is what it is.
The art director left after that trailer was released.
Yeah.
What does that say to you?
Says to you that...
Says there was a conflict of interest,
Yeah.
and why would there be a conflict? I saw the trailer, and I swear to God they used the default Unreal Engine shader.
They probably did.
It looked like shit. It didn't. It looks.
I think I'm thinking of a different game.
Ghostwire Tokyo.
I don't know. I saw something. Is that the like weird cyberpunk sort of?
That's the Japan one, like the one with the fucking Slenderman looking dudes
No,
and
I'm
like
thinking of
the
something
schoolgirls with no heads.
I'm thinking of something
The trailer was this like amazing high resolution like cinematic thing that completely painted a different picture, and even the animation looks amateurish. Like it really gave me a vibe of flipped assets in a Unity like / Unreal Engine. Like it really
not
set off
good.
my vibe. Like
That's not good.
I literally the reason why I say they used the default Unreal shader is because I could see a very thin layer of specularity, which is what happens when you don't set a specular or a PBR material. Like it literally says they didn't change the default shader.
Right. Jeez.
But yeah, Ikumi Nakamura, which is basically Nakamura is literally just like the Smith of Japanese last names, you know?
Right.
Like Nakamura is such a generic last name, but yeah, that's all I had to. She was the art director that left. Jet from the Shore. Did you see that?
No.
I didn't really like that. Godfall looked like a fucking mobile game. That one from Gearbox. Solar Ash, Hitman 3, Astro's Playroom, which looked like Super PlayStation Galaxy. Little Devil Inside, that looks cool. NBA 2K, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
2K21. Bug Snacks.
didn't see anything about it.
You didn't. It's like you didn't even watch it.
I didn't.
Did you like stop the video or something?
No, I don't know. I was probably just watching a streamer or something who was talking about
Demon Souls.
Heard about that.
I don't really care too much about the dark Demon Souls types games or whatever. Deathloop from Arcane looks like Dishonored, but like movie kind of style. Resident Evil 8 Village. Holy shit!
Oh, I saw that.
They keep doing this. Capcom keeps doing this. They'll show a trailer that's unrelated to Resident Evil and be like, "Hey guys, surprise! It's Resident Evil."
Yeah.
I literally did the fucking like Macaulay Culkin what when I was watching it. Pragmata, that looked really fucking cool.
Didn't see it.
Really? What the fuck? Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't really care about Horizon, but
I own Horizon Zero Dawn, but I played maybe an hour of it. Just didn't really click with me, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. Either way, look, I'll look into it more when I know when it's coming out. That's when I start looking at all this shit and get hyped for it. Right now, I have no idea when it's going to come out, so I'm not particularly interested.
I think they gave a date, but maybe not. I don't know.
So, I mean, once we get Holiday 2020, whenever that is, then I'll start looking. Because,
that's probably like November or December kind of thing.
I mean, these things, don't they usually come out in like September, these things?
Oh, yeah, around that time.
Or actually, it would make sense around Christmas. So people would get it for Christmas, actually.
People have been saying, what is it? What is that one American tradition that comes before Black Friday? Yeah, Thanksgiving. People have been saying that.
Yeah, that would make sense as well, actually.
That's basically the whole PS5 kind of reveal thing.
Yeah.
We both like the design.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be the better of the two. Realistically, by a fucking long shot.
If it looked like a black rectangle, people would shit on it. Be like, oh, another black rectangle, or white rectangle. I like the design because it's striking. It looks like an alien console.
I'm glad they did something different, man.
It's going to look unique on my media center.
Exactly. People say, wow, that's cool. What's that? And you say it's a PS5.
What are you, a fucking idiot? You don't know what a PS5 is?
Yeah, I don't know. That's not everyone's going to know.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm being a gamer.
Oh, I see. All
right, we're like half an hour in. Jordy, what is your topic?
Okay. It's good that we had a little bit of a buffer here. So a lot of a fucking buffer. While I was at work the other day, right, I was talking to some of my colleagues, all of them females.
Okay. Why do you specify that?
Because it makes sense for the story.
Okay.
And they were talking. I overheard them because we were like running a load or something like that. And I overheard one of them
running a load with a bunch of female colleagues.
And they were talking about. One of them was telling a story about how some guy was hitting on her at the cashier she is the cashier at the checkout. And I was like, does that really happen? Like, does it really happen that much?
Yeah.
And then I was bombarded for the next, 20 minutes of them telling me these fucking horror stories of the things that have happened to them in the store where I manage.
Turns out a bunch of cringy dudes come in and don't have any social sense and think that because the cashier is nice to them and is giving them the time of the day, thinks they're into them.
It made me so fucking mad.
I have the same kind of thing, when I'm supervising and all that, I'm kind of keeping an eye on everything, because there's been a lot of scuffle and shit about people getting angry at COVID shit, and it's shocking how many people just think that casually hitting on a cashier is normal, and calling them darling and baby and honey and all that. It's
I feel like absolute shit because I've been working in this field of customer service for nearly 10 years or so, right? And I didn't realize how much of a problem it was. And they were telling me all these stories of guys who, there's apparently a regular at our store who comes in and hits on one of the store assistants there consistently and sticks around and says, hey, come on, honey, why don't you come to dinner with me already?
What time are you finishing, darling?
Yeah, stop fucking playing with me. Come on, let's go have dinner already. And I heard that shit and I was just like...
That's sexual harassment.
Literally. And I said... to them, what do you do about that? What can you do about that? And they said, well, I mean, if you're a girl in the customer service industry, you just sort of get used to it.
Which is a horrible thing to hear.
And I heard that, and I was like, fucking hell, that makes me so upset. That makes me so fucking sad. And after hearing that, I said to them, if anyone ever fucking does anything like that in our fucking store, immediately call me up and I will kick them out of the store.
Yeah.
Because I fucking hate that shit. There is no room for that shit. They're doing a job. They know full well that they're doing a job, right? There's no way they'd be fucking nice to them if it wasn't, right? They're doing a job, and you are taking advantage of the fact that they can't do anything back because they might lose their job.
That's what it is. It's they realize the situation, and like most realize it and most don't. Some people are just like cringy and sell people hitting on them, but most people are like, oh, you can't do anything since you'll get reprimanded.
It's fucking predatory.
Yeah, it's kind of it's disgusting,
and it's absolutely fucking disgusting. So I said, the second that happens, call me down, and I will happily kick them the fuck out of the store, because they're fucking like, I can literally feel my blood right now. Yeah, it's getting me so fucking angry.
See these sharp peaks on the waveform.
Yeah, like I can't. I'm so mad at myself and at the customers. Who do this, and the fact that it's not just my store. No fucking way is it just my store that this is happening to. But the fact that I didn't know that it was happening that much is what's gotten me so sad.
It's people don't think it's an issue is part of the problem as well.
Because I'm a guy. It doesn't happen to me.
Well, not even that. Like the women, like they accept it as like facts. Like just like, oh, that's just happened. I just have to deal with those people. Like
that is the actual.
There is some truth to that as well. There is some truth, and there is some. It's a complicated issue, and I don't know if it honestly has a solution. Like I would. It's weird. It's an issue.
I can
like it really is.
Kick people out until there's no one left in the store.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know. Exactly. But like it's just I just it was like I woke up from something when I heard that, and I couldn't help but talk about it on here because here's what I'll say. Right, if you're listening to this and you're a girl who works in anywhere where you deal with customers or with other people, and this stuff happens to you, you should immediately tell your boss or anyone who is above you if you think that that is going to help in some way. Because here's another problem, right? Not every store is going to do what I'm going to do. There's going to be people who are going to be like, I can't do anything about that, you know?
Oh, it's not such a big deal. That's just part of the job, right? You know?
And this is why it's so frustrating for me to fucking think about. Yeah. Because I can fix it in my store, right?
Yeah.
I will happily fix it in my store. But not everyone's going to do it, and that makes me fucking sad.
It's one of those problems where it's a part of our culture that has no like solution, like no viable solution. Like it's just this thing that has developed over time that people accept. They just accept it, and they contribute to it, and they shouldn't. But to change it is to like destroy our culture, and that's it's such a complicated thing. I don't like it either. I really don't like it.
No, I know. It's ultimately you are right. What can you do about something when you cannot physically control other people? And I did hear one of the stories that the girls was telling me was this same regular guy who comes in, and he was hitting on the same co-worker, and just so happened there was a good Samaritan in the line as well. And he was like, bro, she said no, get the fuck out of here. Because he can, right?
Yeah.
He's a customer. And I would give him a gold fucking medal for doing that. There's no way I'd be kicking him out of the store. I'd be kicking the other guy out. And like, if you are in a situation like this, I don't want you to put yourself in harm's way. But if you think you can do something about a situation like this, I really think that you should. Because I don't believe that people should have to be okay being quite literally sexually assaulted in certain ways, or like sexually harassed, sorry. They shouldn't have to accept that because they're a girl, and that's it. That's the only reason.
And it's not even just like not accepting the customers. At Woolies, like there's a no tolerance policy, and that's not just physical violence. That's not accusations or anything.
Exactly right. Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable, you should like you said, tell the manager, assistant, whatever. And if they don't take that, like if you go to a manager and just like, oh, it's just part of the job, you shouldn't accept that.
Yeah.
You should tell them like you're not comfortable.
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
If you're a manager, if you're worried something like this is happening to you and you're worried to tell your boss about it because it might make it worse,
you should not
quit.
work there. Yeah, that's
what
not
I'll say.
That's
Quit.
not a good place to work.
Because there is you everyone listening to this is worth so much more than living with that. No one should have to live with that. Everyone here who is listening to this right now deserves more than that. So I really understand being in a financial situation where you might not be able to quit.
Yeah.
I completely understand that. Don't you fucking worry.
I think another thing you should do is realize that you may be complacent. Realize that you need to kind of sit down and evaluate where you are in life, what you're doing, and ask yourself, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay with this?
That's very important.
Has this thing that you've accepted or genuinely okay? And you should change things if they need changing.
Exactly. Now, I feel much better now that I know about this, and I've let all the girls know who were there, and which is all of them at the time. And I feel better now knowing that they know that I will help them. They may not ever actually do it, which I hope they do. I really hope they do. And I think they'll actually be listening to this because they were asking me when this is going to come out. Because as soon as they said that, one of them was like, hey, you should talk about this on your podcast. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a fucking brilliant idea. I'm going to do that.
Just knowing someone understands your plight is a comforting thing. Knowing that you have someone to support you if you are in that circumstance is a very great thing.
Exactly. And I'm going to end this episode with one thing, which is I may be able to physically help the people in my store, but I'm going to stand up for everyone listening here and say that if you do feel like this, if this is happening to you, trust me when I tell you that you are worth more than that, and that you should definitely try and do something about it, because you shouldn't have to live with that shit. You're worth more than that, queen.
Yeah.
Okay? I've been watching my Queer Eye.
Hot bitch.
Yeah. You're absolute queen, okay? You don't need to deal with that shit. And that's what I'm going to leave it on.
Okay, cool.
This was 30 minutes of talking about the PS5.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes of a real hot
I don't know if you knew this,
topic.
but this show is about discussing issues.
It is about discussing issues.
Current
I just
things.
thought the ratio was a bit funny. But, yeah. Look, I had another topic, but I don't want to start another topic at 43 minutes in.
Oh, there is another Starlink launch as well. Another one.
There you go.
Probably going to be a next one next week as well.
Yeah, I
or
mean,
the week
are
after.
they launching them like every week?
They're trying to, yeah.
Much?
Every week or every couple of weeks.
Yeah. I was going to talk about music as a bit of another one, because I've been learning the guitar at the moment.
Brag about it.
But I've been doing it for like 5 days. I'm not shredding like fucking... What's his name?
Van Halen?
Yeah, Van Halen, that was one. I was thinking
shredding on my acoustic guitar.
What's the fucking guitarist name for Guns N' Roses? Why can't I not think of his name?
Describe him, kind of like...
He wears a top hat and he has long curly hair. Why the fuck can I not think of his goddamn name?
Fun something?
No.
There was a South Park episode about him.
Kill me.
There was a South Park episode. Slash?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Holy shit, people are screaming at
How do I know that and you don't?
People are screaming at their fucking cars right now.
I don't know shit about like contemporary music. I'm like into like random sounds on a fucking keyboard and like static noises.
I mean, he's kind of a household name, I would say, but
he's not real. Well, he's made up by your parents.
Yes.
If you ever see Slash in public or at a mall, that's actually one of your parents dressed up.
I see.
It's like Santa Claus.
I see.
Or the Easter Bunny. Or a Jesus.
What the fuck you say?
I wrote my little like topics list thing last night when I was very tired, and I have something under the Starlink topic, and it literally says in quotation marks the close quotation marks Earth. What do you think that means?
I don't know, dude. I'm not you.
The quote Earth.
Oh,
like the is in quotes and then Earth next to it.
I see.
Do you know why I wrote this down?
No.
Because every time people talk about Earth, they always call it the Earth.
That's true.
And I was thinking about how ridiculous that is, because you wouldn't call it the Mars or the Saturn.
That's true, you wouldn't, yeah.
The moon makes sense because it's our moon, the moon that we see every day.
Yeah.
I guess we see the Earth every day,
yeah.
But why?
I don't know, that's a good point.
That's just something my tired brain was just rejecting. Be like, no, this is not okay.
Yeah, that's a good point that you've made.
I just don't know why specifically. Oh, another topic I skimmed over. Xbox Series X is going to have the exact same interface as Xbox One X.
Fucking hell. Terrible idea.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
If the interface is good, then I can understand that, but like that, having a new interface, like the interface is part of the console.
Yeah.
You want something to feel new and awesome and cool. Not, here's like it. In your head, like it's a skeuomorphism kind of thing. In your head, you associate the interface with the console.
Yeah.
So if you have a plain old like interface that you don't like, you're gonna feel the same way about the console because the console is the interface.
Never release a new console with the same. That's probably the first thing I would design.
When has
honestly.
that ever happened in history? When has that ever happened?
Never. Like that is what when you boot that up for the first time when you get home, right?
Yeah.
Say if you get that Series X or whatever for Christmas.
You used to be like, it's that boring interface I've used every day.
It's like, that's the same one I have.
Exactly. People aren't going to know this.
It's not even going to feel any different, you know? It's just going to maybe run a game a bit better.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's man, they're not giving themselves any favors,
I kind of feel like Microsoft at this point are like far too into it, and they just aren't passionate about Xbox anymore, and they're trying to figure out ways to like destroy the company without Papa Microsoft and realizing it. Like they don't want to make Xbox anymore, so they have to figure out a way of secretly destroying Xbox so they can go back to doing something
theory,
else.
Dude.
It's not though. It's a horrible theory because like
I can see
it makes money, but
I don't think it does anymore, dude.
Because Microsoft needs more money.
Yeah, they're running low.
Yeah, that gas tank's getting a bit empty,
isn't it? All right, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week, every Sunday. Take it easy, everyone.
Goodbye.